Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 94 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and we have our players same as always. We have Kyle, Mac, Josh, and Christo. We're trucking, guys. Last week was our second year anniversary. Very fun. Everybody was given an inspiration that can only be used against me. This inspiration is for making me reroll, which could be better or worse, unclear. To clarify, it is only for D20 rolls. It is before you see the outcome of what the number means, and I take the second roll. It will not be like rolling advantage or disadvantage. I take the second roll, just to put rules on top of that so we all know what's up. I think I will go ahead and give us a recap and we can jump back into things because, things are going pretty good, I think. Last time you successfully completed a heist after you were hired. It was more of a trade by Olavi Strand, a crime boss who you all now officially work for. As he stated, if you do one job with him, you're officially part of the family and nobody quits. Each of you marked with his cigar, and you find out that this cigar seems to limit things you are allowed to say about Olavi, and also can be some sort of tracking magic, but is currently not active. During this time, Gorbjorn continues his conquest of slowly wooing Olavi. And Olavi admits that he's fully into this and honestly loves being used by people and asks Gorbjorn what he wants. To which it seems Olavi is now going to try and acquire some orc-centric information for his new friend. Also, after some asking, Olavi gives Gorbjorn a letter that will give you a discount at a local magic shop, which ends up being a time where everyone's uncomfortable because a man was basically bullied into cutting his prices in half. But you guys got some magic items and left the place feeling icky. Next, you guys go around town picking up a few small things, a nice thing for Jenny the bird, some snacks for her. Gorbjorn does a little acrobatics in the street for thirsty old ladies. Roshan hides poorly in the shadows, but is keeping an eye on the team. And Nana goes in to send some letters home, where she meets, only by name, a familiar face. You meet Jericho, a half giant, 8 foot tall, just an undertone of blue to the skin and markings along the face, kind of graying hair, slicked back, dressed well, tiny little glasses on the nose, 2 whips at the sides, and basically spends that time reading your face. And Nana seems probably has a vaguely expressive face. During this encounter, he gives you a letter that is addressed to him. He says all you have to do is fill it out, throw it into the air, and it will find him. He seems to think that Nana is a good egg who will do the right thing, and leaves her to go about her business. No altercation, no raising of voices, no real threats, but a chance, he says. The party then scatters like cockroaches when you turn the lights on, and disappears from town, Fen taking his time, the rest of them fully fleeing, and then Fen following shortly after. And that is where we left off. And I would be willing to let all of you have find each other before getting back to the inn. That you all high five in an alleyway and are reconvened. And don't mind me, and you may do as you like.
All right. Before we walk into the place where we have been sheltering for the last few days, allow me to bring you all up to speed. I'm at Jericho in the post office. And, I tried to lie. I'm no Roshan. I think he probably knows I wasn't telling him my real name. He didn't press me for further details, but he gave me this. And she shows them the letter. He said that it would find him if I were to fill it out with anything I wanted to tell him, and threw it in the air. So, before we walk inside, Roshan, if you could just check and make sure that there's nothing on this that might expose us at an inconvenient moment.
Sure. Roshan will take and light the invisible, the see invisibility lantern, the lantern of revealing.
Yeah, it's a good question. Would that be helpful in this case? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that there may be invisible ink on the thing, but
You're welcome to check as you take out the lantern and move it across it. There's almost like a watermark of runes on it, but that's the only thing it shows with the lantern.
Could I read the runes? Or
copy them down to look.
You're
in
welcome
Tordrick's
to
book
roll
later.
Arcana, but you only can gather so much from that.
I mean, Tordrick's got a book of runes on his person. He probably wouldn't mind if we borrowed it, unless somebody
Guys,
has
go
it.
inside. Go inside with your letter.
I'll go
Not
inside.
right now.
Fuck it. Jesus.
I mean, you don't have the letter, so that's fine.
I'll do it. I'll
Thank
pretend.
you.
I got a 19.
Oh, nice.
Shocker. The letter is magically charged. Shock, gasp, and awe. From just looking at the runes, you can at least assume it does what he said it does from looking at the visible runes.
Okay.
So you can corroborate what was told to Nana, at least.
Yeah. I don't think this will make us in any way, and if Olavi asks, I don't think we should lie and say we didn't meet him.
True.
We just didn't meet him in a way that we could
do anything about it.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone is in any trouble.
Certainly hope not. I wish I could have done a better showing, but again, I'm no you, Ro.
In the meantime, let's keep it in an extra dimensional space, just in case.
That might be best. Has Gorbjorn already gone running into the inn to collect the rune book? Is he back out? Did he never go?
I don't.
Krista?
I went
Fully
in.
up to him.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't know if
he
I was
went
gonna
in.
get the book for you though. I was just gonna.
Yeah.
Well,
I can almost see more.
You've-
He turns and goes into the tavern compared to the inn.
I mean, no, that's probably true, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
not
I'll get
I'm not
it,
going
and
to
he
ruin
goes
my
into the
room to
tavern.
myself.
He's
I know
like,
that's
all right, well.
Roshan, that's an interesting idea. An extra dimensional space. Would you be able to guess what would happen if we were to release that letter in an extra dimensional space? Would it find its way back to its owner? Would it send a location that couldn't be found, that would be a task to trace back to, or it would be a quest for him to attempt to find its location?
My best guess is that it would simply get stuck in the extra dimensional space. There's only so much space in the bag of holding, and
I'm talking about a rope trick, a temporary extra dimensional space.
I suppose it would probably appear outside of the rope trick once the rope trick disappears. It's my guess.
All right. Just a thought of how not to have this hanging over our heads. really just like to find your sister. We seem to have taken on quite a bit of baggage here and not actually accomplished that quest.
Well, if we're afraid of it, we can always toss it in the fire. I'm sure it won't fare a better fate than the rest of the items.
I'm not any more afraid of Jericho than I am of the man who currently put his mark on us.
What if we can use this to our advantage somehow?
I'm happy to hear what you might think that is, but I
Let's
don't
go
know what
inside.
Jericho expects from us. I
frankly
literally have
have
no
no
idea what he might
I
want us to write on it.
I haven't a clue. He said I looked like a good egg, whatever that means, and seemed to think I would do the right thing.
Is Nana
know
shaved her
who-
head too? Maybe that's what is.
Her hair fell out from stress.
Oh God! I mean, like
from this
probably
one encounter.
this poor 19-year-old. Probably, yeah. She's had a lot happen in the last year or two.
Nana currently has at least a shock of hair, but she's welcome to
Yeah.
shave it whenever she likes.
Honestly,
We'll see.
I'll be the first to say I've had enough of eggs for the past to do me for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, let's.
I think I might still have some of it on my brand new cloak. Thank you, Gorbjorn.
Well, we'll get that sussed. At the very least, let's step inside. I'd like to put this into the bag of holding as quickly as possible, just on the off chance that if it's outside of an extra dimensional space, as you say, it'll be all the easier for him to come find us at his leisure.
Also concerns me that there might be some of Silas Steelan's belongings in that bag of holding.
We can talk that through with Gorbjorn once we get inside and have the bag before us. Maybe we can move those things into something else if we can fit them. But let's not be out in the middle of the road. I don't like it out here.
Right.
Okay. You all start moving forward, and during this time, like, people have walked by. It is not an abandoned place, but you guys are like,
Sure.
off to the side.
Right. We just look like we're having a discussion.
Yeah. It's not like you guys like saddled up next to a bunch of people and were like, so the guy chasing us. You all start to make your way in and, hustle bustle, some conversations.
Sure.
And there's one conversation sort of overpowering the others based on the volume level. Sort of a raised voice coming from a man. Sort of, if you're looking at the tavern and you guys are approaching from this side, they're like on this side approaching the tavern. And they have their backs to you, and you see there's two like large, burly, like fully tatted scars, makeshift leather armor, just people that do make sense for being at this tavern in particular. And you can hear one of the guys like, "Those look good, Grandma." And you can see him just like, he's like, this guy's like fully just like, he's like the muscles where you can't put your arms down all the way,
Jesus.
just like arms swinging at the side.
Arms so big, they're bigger than your head.
Think I'll take all of them. And you hear, oh no, but I made these for my son. And you can hear, you can't see her because of the bulk in front of her, but you just hear this tiny old woman's voice coming from behind this wall of muscle. You just, I won't have any left. And you hear the other guys like, don't make him ask twice. They just both big in the shoulders. And Roshan walks to the side.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like Ellie, does it?
No,
That's
it does
what
not.
Okay.
This does not sound. Ellie would have knocked heads.
I mean, I could have seen her maybe like playing a part, but
Oh, I'm so small and frail. Hi everyone. Even though my old woman voice is the same for every old woman we will come across, this is a different old woman.
That's fair.
Disclaimer.
Oh shit. Can we? This is as we're going into the tavern. This isn't inside the tavern itself.
No, this is outside on the street.
Shit. And it's the two burly guys in between us and the old lady.
Yes. So from your point of view, you cannot see her, you can only hear her.
Can we attempt to peek her and kind of assess the situation more fully as we're approaching the tavern?
You would have to go off course. You would have to like go to their side to like get a view of her. She is fully like blocked in, building behind her, two burly guys in front of her.
Okay.
You don't
okay.
have to do anything. I'm just informing you of occurrences on the street.
Well, the thing is, that's something that Nana isn't gonna feel good about just walking past and pretending didn't happen. She's going to mutter, "You two go on ahead. I'll be a minute."
On the fucking rolls of
Happy,
sleeves.
happy to help. Not happy, but you know I'm going to help.
Well, I'm not hoping for a fight. I'd like to understand what's happening a little better. That's all.
Joshua.
Does
Uh-huh.
does the shadow say anything?
You haven't made your choice yet.
Yeah. Does the shadow have any? Does the shadow want to help me make my choice?
The shadow is currently not saying or doing anything. You are welcome to ask or make your own choices for yourself.
I think Roshan is going to give this a wide berth and be available if Nana screws things up.
Like she always
Um,
does.
And
You're
maybe,
staying outside.
yeah, he'll stay outside, kind of make a wide ring around this and point to the inside where he thinks Gorbjorn might be and just say, looks like Nana wants to get into a fight outside.
Wants nothing. Wants nothing. No. But
You get comfortable and you do hear a soft murmur in your head. I suppose this is a start. Not exactly satisfied, but not disappointed. You're like, thanks. So Fen, are you also taking up like a spot like at a distance and Nana is going up? Just tell me how big this entourage is.
Finn's gonna stay to like the side of the street, casually along the wall, not necessarily in the shadows, but like no further than 30 feet from Nana.
Okay. You sidle up to the wall. Roshan sidles up to his spot. Nana, you begin to approach.
Yeah, Nana's just kind of going to be like making her way past. She's not making a beeline for this altercation, but she's kind of trying to like get a better look at what's happening as she's kind of making a diagonal close by.
Okay. You start to approach, and as you start to angle this out, you can see that it is a very small, older woman, barely cresting 5 feet, just aged, wrinkled face. She's maybe, you'd have to guess, like in her 90s. And in her hands is a large basket that you can see there's like a piece of like cloth over, and can tell that there is something in the basket as she like clutches at it. And the one of the large gentlemen's is like, I'm gonna take what I want, and he like pulls back the little piece of fabric, and it's like you can see just like the display of cookies there. And this dude just snatches a cookie right out of the basket.
Pardon me, sir, were you intending to compensate the good lady for her baked goods?
You see he is like, you've stopped him like mouth fully open, like as like the most unadvantageous way to like put a cookie in the mouth. Like it could be this way, but it this way as it's like right at the teeth. He's like, and he like looks at you and he like looks at her and he's like,
They look like they were very well made.
"You charging for cookies, Grandma?" And like he looks down at her and she's like almost fully cast in shadow because these guys are so tall in comparison to her. And she like looks up at him, like just her eyes, barely visible, as just the skin on her face is just fully pulled down.
Oh, boy.
Oh. And she smiles and it just wrinkles at the corners. Oh, and she like does a little like hand wave at you. Oh, you're sweet. There's no problem here. Blaine just doesn't know what a serving size is. And the large man with the cookie is like, but I just wanted it like 3, and like starts to trying to explain himself, and she's like, I haven't seen you around here before.
Just passing through at the present moment.
Slowly a cookie is like pushed like at your mouth.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that everything was all right. Obviously I am a newcomer. I don't know you. I'm Nira, and you are?
Roll deception real quick for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I understand. Oh, Nana cocks it up again. It's 7.
Perfect.
Yep.
She looks at you. Well, it's nice to meet you. I'm Grandma Jean. And she smiles. Well, better get these inside for the boys. And you see she starts to like shuffle towards the tavern.
Oh.
And like making her way with this large basket. And the guy who she called Blaine,
Okay.
Blaine's like, the cookie's fully gone. He's like,
oh, okay.
Now I'm thirsty. And you hear her as she walks. If you're really thirsty, I'll spit in her mouth. And she just keeps walking.
I clearly misread the situation. My apologies for assuming incorrectly. Blaine, was it? Nana would like to try the cookie. How is the cookie?
It's good shit. Like, like when they brown the butter, like you're like, the butter has been browned. Like, that in your bones.
Oh, it's the good cookie. Oh,
you hear the shadow in your mind, Roshan. I am also confused by this situation.
Yeah, Nana has no idea what's happening. She fully thought that this was going to be 2 guys shaking down an old lady for cookies, but she seems to be in on the mob. I don't know. I'm very confused.
You make friends when you're 90. I suppose you make friends wherever you can find them.
That's a fair point.
And she's just at the slowest pace imaginable, making her way.
Oh,
Would you care for some help carrying that in?
Oh, aren't you sweet? Immediately hands you the basket.
That makes sense. Oh, thank you. They're very delicious.
I know. And she continues in. Fen and Roshan, you are fully able to assess that these big dudes were not just about to beat the shit out of this old lady.
Which is good. I'm glad we didn't come in with violence.
Like stealing candy from a baby situation was not the current setup. But
Nana is fully carrying her cookie in her mouth as she carries this basket of cookies in after the grandma. Grandma Jean, right?
Grandma Jean, yeah. Meanwhile, Gorbjorn has already made his way inside and missed out on the cookie debacle, which, good for him.
Yeah.
Olavi is present in the tavern. Is there anything you wanted to do while you were inside, Gorbjorn, before the rest of the team gets there?
Mm,
Or you just vibing?
I'm gonna be vibing.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna make my own table of important people. See what I can like scratch.
Go ahead
It's
and
mostly
just roll
just gonna
me.
be. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just flat charisma, just for your energy in this moment in the first creation of your important people table.
Ooh.
I think I have a positive to this.
Oh! Those eggs were worth it. Worth
All
the
the
bleeding.
eggs. I believe that is 15.
Ooh.
Well done.
There's certainly an energy. Part of the energy does keep certain people away, which is for the best. And you can tell. There is a point where Olavi, he looks like he's working the room. He does make his way past you and does set like a drink down next to you and like gives your shoulder a squeeze while he's like talking to somebody across the room. And like then goes over there, but brings you this drink. And then the brigade enters. This very small 90-year-old woman, Grandma Jean, who it's the oddest thing visually. As she waddles into this space and you hear, Grandma! And Olavi raises his hands. It is good to see you. And he makes his way over and bends down to hug this old woman and kiss her on the cheek. And kind of looks over at you and is like, you do not have to keep bringing these cookies. They're very good. But he does take the basket from you, Nana.
Nana will hand it over. No fight here. She would also like to finish this cookie because it's very tasty.
Well, I don't want my grandbaby to starve. You know how you are when you're working. And
do they look like they've got some blood relation?
Go ahead and roll insight.
That's not too bad. Insight say 22.
It's difficult because of her age.
Mm-hmm.
But you think of his age and they're like, that's his grandma. You think it lines up age-wise.
Okay.
And there is at least a similar energy and eye color.
Okay.
So it's possible he is related to Grandma Jean, who you watch he escorts over to a table and like pulls the chair out for her and like lets her sit. He's like, it is very nice to have you here. One moment. I'll be back. And he starts to go back to what he was doing. You all are in the tavern. Is there anything you wanted to do?
I would like to pet Bertro, please.
How many pets?
I'm actually going to do the thing this time. I'm not going to go for the belly pets. I'm going to do the thing where you like put your hand right on the top of their head, like, and they like don't know what to do for a second, and then give them scritches behind the ears, like you know when you put your hand right on top of a cat's head and they go like catatonic for a second, and they're like, and then you
Bamboozle.
like ease, and then you ease them up. Like that's what I'm going to do this time.
Yeah,
we'll see
go
how it
ahead.
goes.
Roll animal handling.
Oh, okay.
Get it, buddy.
18.
Oh.
Bertram seems to be pretty chill about it. You've passed the normal amount of pets, and then just the glaze from the eyes disappears, and it's like full flip around to try and just like bite at your hand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like, I'm done now. But you're able to get in a few good pets. Yeah, the place pretty hopping, and nearly everyone in the place takes the time to at least acknowledge Grandma Jean. So she seems to at least be a regular who has garnered some respect. Yes, Nana.
Thing one I'd like to do is find Gorbjorn and get the letter into the bag of holding if he will allow it.
He's at the cool kid table.
The cool kids table. Will he let me close? Am I cool? I
Not-
don't think I am.
Not even.
I'm not cool.
You got to get through the
Nana's
line.
like-
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Nana like knows she shouldn't sit here, but she's like, I'm just gonna swing by. Nana brings
stuck
over
on
the letter.
wrong side of the velvet rope.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Boo.
Didn't get in as cool with
You're
Olavi.
not on the list.
That's
fair.
Yeah, you come over with the letter.
Yeah.
Corbin's at his cool kid table.
Gorbjorn, I see you're occupied, but I was wondering if we could maybe place this inside our party's bag just for a little while for safekeeping.
I'm probably not even looking. I'm just like, yeah, just give it here.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I guess keep up the good work. What are you doing?
I'm probably listening to this random guy's story about how he was taking on like 2 giant creatures at the same time.
The thing was, they were connected. Like, what do you call them?
Boobs?
What they've got?
They were connected at the tits, and
It had multiple heads?
so many fucking heads. Not anymore. But it did. You can see this very cool gentleman at this table. And you hear the sound of one of the seats being pulled out. And Danelle sits down. I love the giant story. And she comes over with her drink.
I think Roshan didn't even go into the bar. He went straight to his room because he wants to make a few calls.
Guys, I need some privacy. Yeah, you make your way up. You're welcome to go to your room and do as you please.
You know, it would have been smart to start thinking through what I was going to say in these calls, but I think the first one is to Dagwood. He's going to ask, do you need any help? Where are you? And where is the information you were supposed to give to me?
Okay. Very straightforward.
Yeah, because the last time it didn't fucking work.
Last time you were both sassy. Very straightforward. Help if you want the information. Kind of busy. You know, being kidnapped. How are you? And that's the end of it.
Okay, so she didn't say where she was.
Oh.
She did say that she wanted help. Kind of.
She did not deny needing help.
What else did I ask? I can't even remember.
You asked, do you need help? Where are you and where's the info? So it seems that she either has it or knows where it is and can't get it to you presently.
Okay. Then one more to her. Say, things are rough. But if you let me know how to help, I can try. Can you tell us where you are?
Always being watched. Agitated. This is going to piss them off. We're heading east. Currently, we're past, and like you hear, I need you to take your fucking hands, and like, and the connection goes short as she begins to like yell at this person.
Fuck.
He starts yelling at somebody?
Dagwood starts yelling. It sounds like it's no longer directed at you. She's like, "Get your fucking hands off
okay.
me!" And it kind of ends there.
Shit.
I thought she was yelling at a child that
I
had
swear
also
to
gotten
God, she's
kidnapped
touching you
with
with your sticky children hands.
Don't you dare.
You put that down. She's at a daycare with just children. She's like, I was dropped off and nobody picked me up.
Oh god.
All right, so not a whole lot of good stuff, but they're heading east. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, he will do 2 charges of his rapier to contact Egil and let him know to get ready for a video chat. We're gonna FaceTime.
Right. It's time to FaceTime.
Time to FaceTime with the boyfriend.
Meanwhile, everybody downstairs has at least been offered a cookie.
Yes.
This lady brought so many fucking cookies. Yeah, Nana, if you have something real quick, and then we'll get to our voice chat.
Yeah, it was mainly just going to be Nana kind of like, now that it seems obvious that Grandma Jean is A, in with Olavi, who knows who Nana is, and B, everybody fucking knows her. She's going to at least take a moment, say hello, and introduce herself properly, because she knows damn well she can't lie for fuck.
Well, that's okay. I knew you were lying because, you know, she like motions to the room. Everybody lies. And you know,
Yeah.
I have a pretty good eye for it. Especially when you have to deal with that one right there. Wily little shit. And she's like looking at Olavi.
I think that does give Nana a hearty chuckle. Well, in fairness, I'm afraid you don't have to try very hard to see through my lies. I'm not very good.
No, you're not. And she gives you like a little pat.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Grandma.
Thanks, Grandma.
You send 2 pings, Roshan?
Yes.
All right. You wait a moment. And you place the stone on the ground for its last use for this video chat. The image of Egil enters the space. Even at this close distance, it is like he is standing there in front of you. An immaculate image, illusory image, dressed a little differently this time, fully bundled up, like no longer just in the turtleneck, but like big bulky jacket, hat, scarf, gloves, the whole shebang. And he smiles immediately when he sees you. Hey there.
Hi. Are you heading east?
Currently on the road, yeah. Something wrong?
Well, got tangled up with the one you said to avoid. And Roshan will pull off his glove and show the magical burn scar on his wrist.
I'd love you to roll insight real quick, and then you can continue.
Sure. Oh, that's a nat 1.
Okay. You are fully engrossed in just the discomfort of the situation in itself. So you can continue.
turns out Bertro is a front for him, and he'd love to chat sometime. Had some info about Rose, that we did a job, got this, still don't have the info yet, but hopefully soon. Have you heard anything about Dagwood? All I know is that she's headed east as well, with people who are trying to keep her quiet.
There is a delay. It's almost like you think the image is frozen, like there is an issue with the connection. But as you look at him, it is a tight, clenched jaw. And you can tell that he is just trying to take in the information and is thinking about what to say. First, did you actively seek him out, or it's just a poor dealing of cards?
We sought out Bertro. Bertro turns out to be a cat, who's a front for Olavi, who was very excited to talk to us.
Yeah, I bet he was. I'm gonna make a roll for ego.
Lovely, love that.
Ooh. There is a deep, long breath. Okay. And the face relaxes a good bit. All right. When is the earliest you can leave town?
He wants us to stay in town, but also the job we ran, the head of the guard is on us as well, and I'm afraid to leave town without Olavi's good graces and without the information, because at that point we have nothing.
This is going to be an infuriating question. I understand that. But I would like you to look me in the eyes while you answer it. You have stepped into quite the situation. Is this worth it? Because I don't think it's going to get better.
I think Roshan looks straight at Egil, sighs, shakes his head, and says, I don't think it is either, but turns out half this shit's been planned for me, so just following someone else's footsteps at this point. And is it worth it? I don't know, but I don't think I can stop.
These footsteps. You know where these footsteps fucking end. You don't have to do shit. You could turn around right now, come home and you'd be kept for fucking life. Anything you want. If you went home right now, it's not an ultimatum thing. God, no. I'm saying there are other paths.
And I'm saying that if I go home right now, my sister dies, my mom dies, all of my friends die, maybe everyone on this fucking continent dies. I'd love to go home, but I can't. All my chips are in, except for you.
Ain't that a pain in the ass?
Yeah.
You do what you want, what you feel is needed, what you are obligated to do. And I'll be there. I'll just be a little pissed about it. I'm not going to go into the connotations of world-ending cataclysm conversation that sounded like. So I'm gonna tread backwards through my own footsteps. Dagwood. It was an incredibly clean job. There was sightings over the bridge. So she's in your neck of the woods, I suppose. Just a bit more, I don't think this is Olavi's work. So I would assume they stayed more northwards if they're heading east. So I don't think they came down to the coast where you are. That is currently what I have heard. But once again, hard group to fucking follow. Professional.
Is Roshan right in thinking that if they're heading in that direction, the only place that's like of great merit is Skull City in that direction?
Well, there is the capital
Okay.
For this chunk of this continent. And then continuing that way, you would start hitting, if you started veering, you would start hitting other capitals. But in your mind, Skull City is the pinnacle of the East.
Disneyland.
It's the Disneyland of the broken ass continent held together by a hammer.
Love that. And Roshan goes on to ask, so where are you?
I am currently heading towards my destination for a dinner date.
Will you tell me anything about what you expect?
Yeah, that's fine. I expect to be put in a situation where I must allow myself to be manipulated. I do not think this to be a dangerous endeavor for myself to an extent. If it is, they got me. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But I expect with my current new status and the status I already held, they will be asking for favors. And it's gonna suck. I'm gonna have a shit time. But honestly, easier if they did kill me. That'd be much easier. He just kind of like murmurs it under his breath.
If they do, I'll find you and I'll kill you.
If I am murdered in cold blood by anyone, you will continue on with your life and with a nice chunk of change in your pocket.
I will find your body. And you know what? I met a very nice, stinky, moldy gnoll who will reach his hand into your chest and pump your heart and bring you back screaming from hell. And I'll be there, and then I'll strangle you.
Are you going to kiss me, though?
Maybe.
Sounds worth it. I'm sorry, was there more business or? I mean, you could try to kiss me now, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Does Roshan have any more business? Does anyone have anything else that
I've
would
got
be
business.
like?
We didn't discuss it beforehand. I didn't know you were going to talk to Eagle. I had questions, but no.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else that Roshan needs to talk about.
I mean, the West is all good, right?
Yeah,
West
is
is
everything in the
okay,
West okay? Did you pass through Golunder?
Last time you were there?
Any crazy elf ghosts? Like,
How are the ghosts?
How are the elf ghosts?
Yeah.
Are they well? You
They're
know,
still masquerading as those two ladies who are ruling that one town. Yeah, cool.
speaking of your ghost friends, yes. Currently still inhabited in the same bodies. Crazy. And that I think is a perfect descriptor of the mental state of both of them. They're batshit. Like,
Yeah.
first off, cooperative, working for the West. Strong and powerful as ever, sway politically. But when you look in the eyes, it's fucked up. Unwell.
Well, if we both make it back to the West and everything's okay, let's do something about it. I don't like crazy in charge.
That's interesting. And he just like smiles real big. Are you implying that I, a chief of great renown for the past 2 weeks, should take the time to murder another chief?
Oh no. Find some way to nullify the magic of the tattoos that are keeping the ghosts bound to the body, and then have some cleric just shout them out of those bodies and obliterate them.
I mean, that just sounds like a lot of words for murder, but I'm not gonna listen. There's no judgment here. I'm not judging anybody for murder, and I will participate. As a friend from afar, because I am a chief. Blah blah blah. And you see, he like glances around a bit, like he isn't alone, but he has been speaking freely. Shit, I was gonna say something, but then I got caught up in the whole murder and another chief thing. Fully got me.
How about chiefs that we don't want murdered? How's Hertha?
Hertha. She is pleasant. And he like, she's well.
Good.
She, I think, does not like being used as she was. And I'm repairing the relationship slowly.
Roshan will unashamedly tell Egil what her favorites are: flour, baked good, and dinner.
Thank God. Like you see, like hush. I feel like everything I've sent has just not been working. Half of it turns up back at my fucking door. Truly. I don't know what your dad was doing, but he was fucking doing it. seems I'm incapable of wooing her, politically.
I don't think she's in a place where she wants to be wooed. I think she's still very defensive, and I can't blame her.
That's shit. I remembered. Fuck me. Okay. About your ghost problem.
Oh yeah,
Like,
ghost
I know ghost problem. See, I'm realizing you have like another lot of fucking problems going on, blah, blah, blah. But that's fine. So I don't know shit or fuck about ghost, right? But was doing research. There is a place where you can get near any piece of information you are looking for, just displayed beautifully for you. I mean, it's hard to get at it, and you have to have like special permissions to get in. But there's the Civic Library.
Oh, great. Love that.
I'm ignoring the tone. If you are interested in ghost murder, that's where I would start.
Yes, sounds great. I might be a wanted criminal there, as in Rose committed crimes there, and he flips his hair over to one side.
Who the fuck is that?
That's Rose, who coincidentally also has one of these fancy burn tattoo magic things.
And Olavi's like, so let me put all this together real fast. So Olavi's like, oh, I'll get you information like that. And he's like, give me a minute or whatever. If she has one of those fucking tattoos, he knows exactly where she is. He like looks back. How long would it take if we just go around this way? If we just go bit this way first and then go back up that way?
Don't take time out for this. We've got it handled.
I could kick his ass. He can't walk that fast.
Also, he's got a thing for twins. Do you know? I'll give the description of the armored twins.
That sounds icky. That the description does not sound familiar to me, but he's a nasty man who likes nasty shit. And that's why we don't work together. But hey, we're connected now. And he kind of just like looks at you. You are really widening my horizons of compatriots.
You're welcome.
I will accept that you're welcome in a couple months when I see how everything turns out financially.
All right. Well, for the time being, I am at the Laughing Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Probably heading north. Next, though, maybe out to sea. I don't know. But the Civic Library might be on our list, and I feel like something is pointing us towards Gull City. So,
well, take your time, finish what you need to here before heading north. No reason to, go full speed, I suppose. If you get to Skull City, my connections are limited, but you have a name. So you're gonna try to kiss me or what?
Yeah. I think I'd like to do that.
Okay. Technically, it will be easier for you. I will trip over a fire if I try to move forward. So I'll just wait for you. Just gets comfortable.
Well, I think Roshan would cast Unseen Servant to play the part of Egil in this.
Almost something to kiss a little bit.
Almost something that can gently touch him a little bit.
Is him. You try to do smooches with an illusion. And then it's just a little bit of casual talks before inevitably he has to go. Don't let him pull you in deeper. Bare minimum. Do good work, but bare minimum.
That's what I've been trying to.
You're smart. I know.
And then I suppose after Roshan says goodbye, what skill is it to roll to cry a little bit to see how much
I think
crying?
that's a free action.
Crying is always been a free action.
It's a free
Crying
action
has
for
always
sure.
been a free action.
What's
I
the
know
role for
this.
emotional intelligence?
I feel like that's wisdom.
That or maybe insight?
Sorry.
Um,
What did you say?
Roll serotonin with disadvantage.
Oh, with disadvantage?
Serotonin.
Oh, it's real bad.
Mood.
You know, I don't put your dice away, boys. This isn't for the dice. In this moment, being alone, having gotten to talk about what's going on, at least a bit, would Roshan cry a little?
I think he would, just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, not knowing what to do.
Mhm.
But I think it doesn't last very long, and then he composes himself and then goes down to the bar because he has also a question for Brilla.
As you kind of cry softly alone for a moment, you feel a gentle like brush across your face, right at like the top of the cheek. And you can see the shimmer of the unseen serpent. It's all right. It's going to be all right.
I think that inspires an obstinate energy into Roshan, and he's like, those were private tears. Get out
Not
of here,
even
Shadow. Yeah, and then doesn't respond to the Shadow, just leaves.
And assumedly, it leaves with you.
Great. No privacy with this damn Shadow.
You could talk to it like a person if you want. But instead you're being a little bitch. Storms down the stairs. And you make your way to go speak to Brilla. You go down and enter the space. There is the smell of cookies in the air mixed with like the stale ale and sweat of the place. Brilla is currently in her spot. Gorbjorn's at this really cool kids table that has like a guy who's talking really loud about things he's killed in like the big monster department.
Oh, I would
And
probably be like one-upping him every time, though.
was an amalgamation of so many orcs. It was as tall as a tower. And there's Danelle at this table as well, who's just like fully enraptured in this like this pissing contest. Like this is her jam. She's like, She's like, yeah, but how many arms did it have? And the guy's like, how many arms? Like she just keeps like pulling you both back in to hear more. She's like, yeah. Roshan, you come down. Your friends are either eating baked goods or having conversations or drinking. Brilla is in her current in the space that you saw her last time, looking at books and writing in a little journal.
I think Roshan would grab 2 of whatever she's drinking, one for himself and one for her, and bring it over to her.
Oh, hey.
Hi. I don't want to ask for anything that you're not happy to provide, but could I ask you about another group of people?
You hear the scrape of wood on wood as the box is pushed towards you with the slot in the top.
Roshan will put his last platinum in there.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the happy married couple?
This, you are greeted with an eyebrow raise. That's interesting. And that is where we're going to stop, boys. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a 10-minute break. Go get a snack. Go get a drink.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe we'll learn a little more about the happy married couple, and maybe we'll deal with our problems that are slowly approaching, like the giant detective on your tail. But those problems are for future party, and future party has to deal with their own shit. So we'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 94 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 9-minute break, or 10. Oh, geez, guys, help. Oh, no.
11.
I mean, one of those. On average.
The party saved Grandma Jean from the mean guys that wanted the cookies that she brought. It seems to be Olavi's grandmother who shows up occasionally to give the boys some cookies. Is she fully aware of what goes on here? Maybe. Also during this time, Roshan called up Eagle using the last charge on this very, very particular sending stone. And has currently made their way downstairs to talk to Brilla, who seems to be a gatherer of information, or one who keeps track of the movings around in town, and has just asked her about the happy married couple. And this would have been the time to look at it, Jillian. Wow. Sorry, I was too busy bitching about directors during the break.
That's valid. I mean, we've all been there.
You guys ever just been bitching about something and like did not look up the thing you were supposed to look up?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Literally me right now.
Mood is hell.
Gorbjorn, could you tell me one of what story you're trying to one up this guy with after he tells you about he kind of just keeps going towards giants and like giant animals. Like you saw a big old animal.
I would have said like, oh, you like giants? We'll talk about this giant. And I would have talked about how I met Uproar and faced her as an ice dragon single-handedly.
Basically. I mean, there was Saga there too, but
it was basically single-handedly. I don't think Saga like landed a single hit during that encounter.
Saga was there to cry and like shoot some missiles.
It's valid.
I'm here.
I killed a giant. I jumped off of her back to do it. Giants aren't that tough.
Well.
Yeah, you talk about how you bested the Uproar. Beautiful.
Wow.
I don't even care about the note I was looking for anymore. That's great.
Oh my god. Incredible.
All right. The boasting happens sort of like to the back of you, Roshan. The table honestly is not that far away from Brilla. It's a very well-placed table. She kind of looks you over. For my own sanity and safety. Any particular reason you need this information?
They wanted to talk to a friend of mine, and it's got him anxious and doesn't want me to get involved, but I obviously don't know when to not get involved.
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid too.
Oh no, it's incredibly stupid. And she kind of smiles a little, for the first time, like smiles. Yeah, don't worry, everybody kind of I won't say everybody. I can't base it on my own experiences because I know a lot. I know what friend you're talking about, and I know your little situation with that. Who do you think got the information to Olavi?
I would not be surprised to hear that it was Lolo you.
I keep an ear to the ground.
And
in the
to
background,
just about every other service in this town.
Can we relax? There's just two dudes slamming pans on the fucking wall in this tavern, living their best lives, and that's what we're gonna go with for these firework noises that'll be in the background. But she kind of like glances around. I mean, I guess it's basically public knowledge depending on the public you're with. What are you looking for in particular?
I would like to know where they're they're meeting with my friend. He wouldn't tell me. I think it would be rude of me to ask what they're doing, what they want with him, because so that's no worry. I just like to know where.
I'll say for the second half of your question that you are not asking, I wouldn't know. That has yet to become public knowledge. But meeting, this I do know. Because they are going to meet where the happy married couple feel the strongest, which is where they have set up shop. That would be, and she like glances around, that would be Jarlsbecker. Capital. Up top.
Now, would you be interested in learning about, and Roshan is going to lean in and whisper the guard in her ear.
If you have information to give.
Let me just okay it with my companions. He's no friend of ours, and neither is he what he says he is to be.
People rarely are.
I'll say I'll be right back, and then I'll go over to Nana and
Cool kids table.
the cool kids table, and just get all of my friends' attention on me real quick.
As you approach, though, this pissing contest continues forever until one of them is unconscious from the amount of drink consumed. This guy seems rough, but as you approach, he is finishing his story of being like, I was at one of the fingers, this sticking up out of the ground right at the water's edge. I was there. It was just a long arm. I swatted around. Killed it. Just a big water arm. Just right out by the spires. Everybody could see it.
An arm made out of water? Or
No.
an arm reaching from the water?
The arm came out of it came out of the water.
Okay, not made out of the water.
Her mom came out of the water.
It was, you know, and his eyes closed for like a long time.
How big was the arm?
The arm, and he's like up again. But Roshan kind of comes over like him.
Yes.
I would like to share some information with this woman, Brilla, over here. She has knowledge on a great many things, and I think it would be helpful if we told her about the man who kidnapped our friend, that dear little girl.
Uh-huh.
I'd
I know the one you mean.
gladly accompany you
Mm.
for your conversation if you think that it would be all right.
If we get somewhere quiet, perhaps. Though she may be remiss to leave such a good spot to listen to all the goings on. But I'll ask, and follow me if I give you the signal.
All right, we can always go to one of our rooms.
It's just out the door and up the stairs.
I'd be happy, but I don't know that she wants to leave.
Right.
Understandable.
Right.
I want her to be comfortable,
Yeah.
but we have much to share with her if that's the sort of
Absolutely.
thing she wants to know.
And Roshan will head back to Brilla and say, this is a conversation best had behind closed doors, but would that be amenable to you?
Roll persuasion.
God damn it, another natural one.
Oh no, buddy! Where's the sass card?
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
She looks at you for a moment. I am always willing to gather information as by any means necessary. I'm just going to bring a friend.
Absolutely.
She stands up and she starts to follow you wherever you're going. And she kind of like raises a hand a bit. You see immediately one very large gentleman goes and sits in her seat. Doesn't touch anything, just posts up where she was sitting. And then, what do you have it? Blaine gets up, mouthful of cookie,
Of course.
like kind of brushes his beard off, and he is going to follow with Brilla. Yeah, you guys head to the door. You're all welcome to follow if you're interested.
Yes, if you have a place you'd rather, otherwise we have rooms at the inn.
I'll go to one of your rooms. Why not?
Let's just not choose the one with
In it.
yeah,
not torture.
Real props in the unconscious man. Yeah.
I am assuming that Roshan kind of like waved us over, so
Oh,
if
yeah,
we want
yeah.
to join, we can.
Let's
Okay.
take them to my room. That's fine. I don't even have to stay there if we're worried about compromising someplace.
No, I think that'll work. And
Yep.
does Gorbjorn come too?
I
Still
am
embroiled
busy
in the kissing
doing.
contest.
I'm busy being a prince and
That's-
I mean-
establishing my social necessities.
He's
Of
working on the
course.
social hierarchy of the place, and he's doing pretty well.
Good
With
job,
his
buddy.
newfound charisma.
We'll only be just a building over if you need us, Gorbjorn.
I have the power of the eggs. I fear nothing.
That's what
Gorn.
I'm
No
afraid
fear.
of, but just take care of yourself.
The only thing to fear is pumpkins itself.
Give him shell, buddy.
Oh my god.
The rest of you head up with Brilla and Blaine. You also see that a second man follows you
Yeah,
and
sure.
then stops at the bottom of the stairs of the inn.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So it sounds like this person's kind of there to, if someone starts screaming, somebody
Running
outside
it.
the room will hear.
Yeah.
But you all proceed up to one of the rooms, and she takes a seat at a chair, at a small sort of desk setup, and opens a book.
Now, can we trust Blaine here? Anything he hears strictly confidential?
Hey, Blaine, what'd you hear? And you almost like watch his head like snap up, and he's like, huh? And she's like, I think we're okay.
Now,
He's either very distracted or half deaf.
the one-armed man you know as the guard, was not always a one-armed man. And then Roshan will spin the tale of the guard from the very beginning, where he kidnapped children and set beasts loose on the town.
Mm-hmm. Set the town on fire.
Surprised it didn't get brought up in the bragging session downstairs, but Prince Gorbjorn was the one that took his hand from him.
This whole time, she has been maintaining eye contact, and writing simultaneously. So she is currently, and if you glance at it, you can see that this is what she does. It follows this invisible line perfectly all the way through. As she nods and listens, occasionally asking questions for like town names, people names, if you're willing to give them, timelines, getting sort of the facts of the situation, which it seems you're
Roshan,
happy.
yeah, he wants to share as much information about them as he can, while keeping information about the group to a minimum.
I see.
Fen would try to stop Roshan from saying Layla's name if he were about to say it, though. Like, he could say Aaron Toft, he could, he or Hoigercliff, rather.
Yeah, Hoigercliff.
Yeah. He could say that, but like won't, like, identifying the child that was kidnapped. Fen would try to stop Roshan from saying that.
And Brilla pipes up. That's okay. Young child. We'll refer to her as young child. That's not a problem. I don't think she would be the most useful piece in this puzzle.
Knows how much she'll remember eventually.
She's
So
not a piece of the puzzle. She's a child who's got a life ahead of her. She doesn't need to be used as some sort of pawn in what we're doing. We're telling you what happened. She was a victim in all of this, and she's made it through that, and I hope she goes on to live a full life unaffected by her experiences. That's all.
I am understanding. I am glad you are emotionally invested. I want to make it clear I am not. But I will not pry where I'm asked not to.
You probably should be emotionally invested. You should be emotionally invested in what happens if Bosch, the god, gets his way, continues to gain strength here in the East. It will affect you. There's emotion that should be attached on your part.
but Fen, it's I suspect a matter of her line of work.
I understand. I just am trying to drive home the importance of the information that we are sharing with her. That's all.
I write down the information, and if people ask for it and pay for it, I give it to them. Or if I see fit, I give it to the people that it needs to be given to. But that information and where I send it is for me. So if it seems advantageous to give this to someone else, I will. I just can't give you that information.
Certainly. And at the very least, it wouldn't make much sense to pull the child into the situation anyway. She would very likely not be a reliable narrator, could not probably give you much more information than we can.
I'm going to be completely honest at this point. Myself or any of my associates, I don't think, have interest in traveling for 2 months to a logging community to ask a child questions. If that makes anyone feel better. I don't plan to follow this trail, as it were. It is more eyes open, ears out. What I have is put where it needs to be. I am not. I am a listener, and that's all.
Of course.
Anything else? As you go through the information on the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else you feel like giving information on?
Not today. This one's just a threat to all of us, and does not have kindness in their heart. It's not even a good guy in their own story.
No, you looked like you wanted to say something.
Well, I mean, I actually just wanted to check with Josh as to whether or not he would have included Bosch's attack on Galunder, or his threat made at Galunder in this information that he is sharing.
Yeah, I think he would have.
Okay.
I'm assuming all information is
yeah.
given unless something is like stated not given.
Like I totally didn't put those giant screaming mushrooms there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That omitted.
Omitted that.
Whoop!
We
Not
no
there.
word of mushrooms.
Nor who may have placed them, if anyone did.
Came to
Um,
town and we saw him there.
I just stumbled across it. And like a good citizen, I moved on and didn't want to get involved with such a threat.
A tense political situation.
This is not for me. I'm just a tourist.
So I think Roshan gets to the point where he talks of the holes in the ground they're filling with fish slop, and then mention to her that that the arm that came out near the fingers, that sounds in line with what this power is capable of.
All right. Thank you for the information.
I think we probably would have also mentioned Merrick, because that seems like a thing that would be easy enough to verify by letter, that the warden or sheriff of the community had been murdered.
Ah, okay. All right. Understood. I will give you 5,000 gold pieces to tell me everything you know about Egil.
I'm sorry, I cannot do that.
10,000 gold pieces. And this is not just an extension to you.
Dolph is very generous, however, I must politely decline.
There are things that are more important than coin. And Ven's gonna leave the room right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Nana's sticking alongside Roshan, but she absolutely respects Fenn's decision.
The offer remains on the table, and everyone knows where I sit.
I appreciate your time, Bella.
Yeah. Consider it. And she gets up and closes her book. Blaine, huh? And like he snaps back into focus.
Huh?
Let's go.
I know she has been acting detached this whole time, but can Roshan to roll insight to see if she actually was feeling any emotion about this?
About any of
stories.
the information with the guard. Yeah, go ahead.
Can Nana attempt as well?
23.
Oh God, I won't beat that. No, I did not beat that. It's fine.
Nana, she is solid. Just stone-faced.
I mean, I did have a 15, but I still doubt I'd get much from her.
Stone-faced.
Yep, makes sense.
Roshan, you said 23?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not calling her a sociopath.
But, you know.
This is a woman who has been, you think, for an extended period of time in working with the criminal underbelly of this city, of this area, of this full domain. And you think she has probably heard horrible, terrible things. you think that the things that she has written in some of those journals are probably horrific. And you can, it's not that you see it, but you can imagine the shadow of a younger woman she was. And somebody who fully has to turn it off. Has to turn off having this at all emotionally affect her. You can see that there's certainly a front put up throughout the whole encounter. She does seem genuine, though, in the fact that she says she will give this to people she thinks she needs to. And you think that is a likelihood that this information will be passed along. So it at least is priority of somewhat in her mind. Is there a glassy-eyed anything? No.
Okay. And I think Roshan just at the end would say, he'll have it out for us should he learn where any of that information came from. So I'd appreciate an amount of discretion where that is concerned.
There is always discretion. Unless Alavi asks specifically for there not to be.
Imagine he would fancy that, but understood.
So at the moment, a good secret.
Thank you, Brilla. And I hope we work together again. You're very fascinating.
She smiles. Well, we're all part of the family.
We are. Can I insight that? What does she think about being part of the family?
Roll insight.
Yeah, that's a
Fail.
19.
I don't think she's trying to. You don't think she's trying to hide anything.
Okay.
She seems like she's proud of the work she does.
Okay.
She
That's
does
valid.
not seem to have any intention of quitting because, as you all know, nobody quits. So even if she didn't like it, sucks to suck. So enjoy it while you can. But she kind of stands up, fixes her outfit, pushes her glasses up, and makes her way out of the room, followed by Blaine, who's like, see you around, and like just seemed fully unconnected to that conversation at all.
Bye, Blaine.
As they leave.
Before we leave the room, after they leave the room, Nana would kind of like to check in with Roshan. So I felt that went all right. Do you think the information will get where it can help us?
I'm not counting on it. So it's a peppering of safety nets or barbed nets for them. If it slows them down, hopefully. But if it doesn't, then... And if it puts a target on our back, well, I'm sorry. But these people are probably...
We rather have one, you know?
Yes, but these people are probably both the most threatened and the most well situated to deal with this as a threat. And I hope they appreciate having the information.
We can only hope. I hate to change the subject. And if you don't want to talk about this right now, we can talk about it later. But on the subject of information, Listen, I'll admit to have given you the box because I rather wanted to give you something less dire to focus on than, you know, all of this, or Ave's journal, or whatever. I know you seemed perturbed as we were heading into town based on what you had found. If you don't want to tell me about it right now, that's fine. Later's also fine. I wanted to check and see if you were all right.
I'm okay. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, overwhelmed I can relate to. Okay, because we have no choice, right?
Yeah. I'm not even sure how much you know of what Rose and Dagwood have to do with this, but
I wasn't aware either had much. I mean, Rose maybe a little, but Dagwood?
Ave sent Rose over here to gather information. She slipped up, and I'm guessing she's with the kiln. At the same time, Dagwood was supposed to give us some information on what to do after we'd completed the ritual in Galunder, but she didn't. And then she got kidnapped, and now she's here, heading toward Jarlsbecker.
Okay.
Or
real
to
quick,
Skull City.
Roshan has mentioned that Dagwood was kidnapped at some
Yes.
point, hasn't
Yeah.
he?
That's public knowledge.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, headed to Skull City, you said?
Skull City, Jarlsbecker, somewhere to the north. Egil tried to help, but couldn't get much more than that. She said she's heading east actively, though I believe that might have gotten her in some trouble with her captors. She seems to know that she can't give out a whole lot of information without getting hurt. But
which means she's probably under close watch a lot of the time.
24/7 probably. So I think before things are all said and done, we'll need to help find her, but north is hardly a direction. So I don't know. I'm actively seeking contact with people who might know as regularly as I can, but that's all I've got so far.
Of course. I understand. Thank you. So I guess the long and short of it is, if we're going to figure out what the fuck Ave actually wanted to get done, we've got to make a leg up towards either, I guess, the capital or Skull City. Oh, that's a long way. That's fine. It needs doing. Okay. All right.
It gives us half of a direction, but we know we need to go that way anyway if we're supposed to do something about the kiln, but
yeah. Which, for the record, I still very much would like to. But, I appreciate all the knowledge that we can get on this going in. There wasn't anything else of use in the journal beyond that?
Was there anything else?
Probably.
There was a lot in the journal, I understand.
I mean, there was a lot of Ave pontificating over whether he was a good person or not, which Roshan's not going to get into.
Yeah, I think
Um,
he sees the writing on the wall that would send Nana into something of a tailspin at this point, so.
You shared that Dagwood has information to move you forwards, and that Rose is involved with something. I suppose that's the long and short of it, of what you may give if you are interested, but a lot of it was Ave's turmoil.
yeah, I think Roshan's still got a lot of inner turmoil about it too, so
Yeah, it's fine.
he's not going to process that right then. But yeah, I think he will give the detail as little as he really knows to Nana about how Rose is involved, and hopefully Olavi shows up with some information, especially since he points to where he got burned, since it's now covered up, and says, especially since he can apparently track people with these.
Oh. Wonderful. Okay. Well, don't tell Fen, or he's going to pitch a fit. Or maybe we'd better tell him sooner rather than later. I don't know. I'll figure that out myself.
The list of things we never tell Fen.
I mean, you know. Okay, well. That's a lot of information, and at the very least it gives us some kind of heading. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around how Ave was able to put so much trust into Rose. And not you, and I know I never really made any indication I was interested in following in his footsteps, but he might have said something. I suppose perhaps he couldn't.
So Roshan doesn't reply, but you can see it in his face. He's also kind of pissed about it.
I hesitate to ask this, Roshan, but did he give any sign why he picked her?
She approached him about it.
How did she find out?
Got her hands on something she shouldn't have. I'm not sure. I mean,
I suppose
he's
that
always
was
been
always the way.
secretive, and I suppose she's got a way of turning an ear even better than I do, so. But I would like to ask her the same thing.
Well, I suppose that makes two of us. And that's two of us all the more determined to find your sister.
Since
We'll
it
find
sounds like we need to at this point.
Rather seriously, yes.
Oh, did I mention also, Ave wrote in here, I mean, he flips to the front of the book where it says, if I am dead, burn this or something. And it says, I mean, well, I didn't do this, and flips about halfway through the book and points to where the coded language says, if you're reading this, Roshan, or something. I'm like, well, he really expected me to do this, so it's frustrating.
Yeah, Yeah, I... God, I don't know. It feels like... The longer he's dead, the less I know him.
That's a fair assessment.
Well, thank you for all your work, Roshan, honestly. I can't imagine any of it was easy. Technically or otherwise. I hope that this will lead us closer to finding Rose and Dagwood both, and resolving things with the kiln.
Roshan looks at Nana and reaches out and grasps her shoulder, kind of cocks his head in a supportive smile. And then says, how about a drink?
Nana claps her hand over his on her shoulder and says, I'm already ahead of you, so you've got some catching up to do. Let's do that.
There's a small look of panic, and then he realizes what he needs catching up to, and follows her down to the bar.
All right. You start making your way.
What did he think she was talking
Gorbjorn.
about?
Across from you, the man's like, it, you know, and fully face table is out. And Danelle instantly like looks at him, waits like a half a second looking at him. So are you interested in paid jobs?
Uh-oh.
Yes, but actually no.
I could give you a pretty easy one if you're interested. Is that a bag of holding?
It is.
For a reasonable sum, instead of just trading with Olavi for information, we could get some coin going. Seems he trusts you all enough to start, throwing around coin, I suppose. And she glances down at the jewelry on your hand and then continues. I just currently need something placed in a bag, brought to a secondary location, and remove it from the bag.
Where's the location?
The location is in town. It would be by the docks.
You know, I'm not one to turn down so easily, but I am laying low at the moment.
Understood. You can speak to me when you are interested in 500 gold.
But in the meantime, I'm just gonna like send some of the crowd to pick up the drunk guy off the table, and like whoever's been waiting so nicely, but deems themselves interesting can sit and take his place.
Yeah, there are people who are standing, so somebody at least of worth to replace the man who fell unconscious.
Whoever was laughing at my jokes the most.
Yeah, that that one. There's a woman who's just like, yes. She comes over and sits down, and she's like, it's an honor. I don't know what this table is, but I'm very excited to be.
I am Prince Gorbjorn. It's great to meet you.
And she's like, a prince? And Danelle's like, ugh. And like, that's when Danelle gets up and now there's another available chair.
Oh, we can start filling it with floozies now.
Yeah. All right. I know what I'm here for now.
Yep.
Circle up. People reconvene if they are so interested. And I wanted to know if there was anything of note you wanted to accomplish today.
Fenn went back to his room as soon as he left the meeting. We're already across the street at the inn at the at the hotel rather than the bar. So Fenn just went back to his room.
Yeah, you just sort of opened a door, went across the room, and then just went into a separate room.
Yeah. So what Fenn did is he went back to his room. Is there a hearth in each room, or is there
not? This
No,
is
okay.
a very shitty inn.
All right. So Fenn takes his like cooking stove, like his pot, whatever, from his gear, being a ranger, and he starts a little bonfire in there, and he gets the fire going, and he just sets his kukri on that, just the blade over the fire. And he's gonna sit there and look at that and think about that for a minute.
I think I see where his thoughts lie, but
Okay, well, he doesn't know yet where his thoughts lie, but he's got some ideas. He's got bad ideas, but he's got some ideas.
Why would I waver? We're in the room with Fren, and you can watch that knife heat up for as long as you want to.
All right. I'm gonna roll something.
Okay.
Fenn's gonna let it cool down, and nothing. He's just cleaning his blade. That's all.
Okay. Good to know. Is there anything you guys wanted to accomplish, talk about, start heading towards? Or is it just another day at the tavern?
Olavi doesn't offer any information, does he?
Nope, he does not. He does not approach you once.
Fucker.
Nah. And like it's coming up on, I'd guess, afternoon or evening at this point, no?
You're approaching at this time, you're probably approaching at least 4.
Okay. 4 in the afternoon, thereabouts. I think that yeah, with all of that kind of under the bridge with the discussion about Bosch and everything, I think Nana kind of wants to turn her thoughts to more pleasant things and would kind of inquire with Roshan about whether or not he's had any progress with the box while they're drinking their whiskey.
Where's the box open? It's not box open.
No, I
How's it
just
going?
fucking open the box. It's
We didn't
fucking
find the
stupid
keys.
box.
That's fine. I only wanted to know if you had any occasion to look at it again, or if you had seen anything different about it.
No,
Of
this
course,
box
it
fucking
fucking
sucks.
figures it would be a goddamn key. It's exactly what we wouldn't have expected, I suppose.
Yeah.
This
I
keeps
mean-
happening.
Could ask him, I suppose.
I mean, we could, but I don't know if that's wise.
You guys
Nah.
are free to talk to whoever you want to with bending. That shit is a key to anybody's brain for a half a second.
Yeah. Then I think that maybe Nana would just kind of chat with Ro for a while over drinks, kind of keep an eyeball on Gorbjorn and just sort of stay in touch with her team and kind of wonder where Fenn's been for the last while.
Staring at a slowly heating up knife and being like, no, I'm chill. This is fine and I'm chill.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm chill.
It is fine and good and chill.
Oh, yeah. I think she'd eventually check on him before she went to bed, but that'd be some hours later, so.
Yeah, I think the final thing Roshan wanted to do was, like, during sleep time, use his final 3rd level spell slot to contact Norel.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sure.
just still at the Laughing Ocean. Haven't heard anything exciting on our end. Have you heard anything exciting?
There's a pause. Did you get the window?
Yeah, Roshan will go over to the window.
There's a
What
moment.
the hell?
Pause. And eventually slipping through the window and getting situated in the space. I think we could share information.
Great. What do you need from me?
What do you need? She like glances you over and then like glances through the room and then kind of closes the window. I'm worried about my contact.
I'm worried about your contact too.
I can't get close is the thing. Based on my job, I have a bit of checks and balances that I would have to go through, and so I can't be caught meddling.
Understandable. Is there somewhere we could safely meddle outside the prying gaze of Jericho, who so nicely gave my friend a note and told her to write anything on it that she wanted to tell him?
That sounds like him. Are you in possession of a lot of coin?
A bit. I don't have much, but
She nods. Never mind then. Would you like to bring the others in, or did you just want to talk one-on-one?
I can certainly bring my friends in. He will slip out of his room and go tell his friends that Nora wants a slumber party.
Oh. Well, all right, sure. She's here now.
Yeah, my room.
All right. Let's do it then.
Is Gorbjorn still downstairs?
Yeah.
This would be later in the evening.
I think he's gonna have his own slumber party.
right.
Listen, Nora's
Good.
cool and all, but
She ain't nasty.
Yeah.
not nasty.
She's kind of nasty.
She's
Well,
a little
she has
nasty.
the capacity for nasty.
Yeah, but she's here on
It's not
business.
her default setting.
That's a woman I gotta woo.
It's like you got a list. There's like, there's boning, but there's also like the stuff you got to work for. Like, got to put effort in.
Trying to keep a low profile.
Yeah.
Right. We're trying.
Yeah, Fen will come along. Fen will perk up at the mention of Norl and come along.
Yeah.
You all make your way and enter the room where Norl is. She is now wearing what you would assume she was referring to as her uniform. This is in like this dark purplish tone, similar to the Jarlsmen of the area. There's also like very thin, very light looking armor placed about it. It looks like the outfit is made for being in the water. It's not like there's a lot of areas for drag. It's like slick material close to the body, and it has a lot of spots in it for like placing items, weapons. So there will be like there's multiple slits in the sides of the thighs where you can see like the outlines of different things that would be useful while one is underwater, varying and depending. Also, it looks like she has a light, I wouldn't call it a trident, but that's what it's closest to in appearance. Only 2 spikes at the top, staying in very thin, more of a fork situation, and just kind of placed on the back. She waits for everyone to enter. Okay. I need you to find my contact. I need to know if they are alive or dead, and I need to know what they would like to tell me. I've been unable to acquire contact by any means that we had recently stated, acquired, prepared for.
Does it seem like she's like really worked up about this? Like she's actually concerned?
You could roll insight.
Oh, God, I'm not very good at that.
Ben squints, trying to read a person's face.
13.
13. It doesn't look like she's trying to hide anything, so she does actually seem worried.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she
Trying
seems
to figure out whether this is a person that gives a shit or not. Like
yeah, she
under the
seems
circumstances that we met her in, like we're a little unsure where her loyalties lie, or if she's like, you know,
actually invested.
yeah. So yeah, just trying to figure that out. But I guess don't ask Fen to answer that question.
yeah, she seems bothered about the current situation she is in.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I only wanted to know, do you have any idea about where they may have last been or been seen?
I never got to meet this person in person. We had communicated through letters placed at a rendezvous point, and
Do you think it was compromised?
I'm unsure. We had planned to meet, and after that, I lost contact.
Where was the rendezvous point?
Somebody have a piece of paper?
I've got paper. I've got paper and ink. Yes.
She would take that and she draws out a little squiggle that is the city, and she marks points on it. So she marks Silas's home. She marks the fish market. She marks the tavern. And south of the market, not fully at the coast, but south of the market, there is a shop called Root, Line, and Sinker. There is a loose spot where the wood is on the siding, and that is where we had been placing letters.
All right.
Did you know who you were corresponding with? Anything about them?
Yeah, you just saw the cat. It got me, boys.
Those darn cats.
These are all assumptions. I believe I was communicating with a female from ages 18 to 25, probably. I think this is a person who is trained in working in the outdoors as a ranger of sorts, based on the way we communicated. So a female ranger, unsure past that.
And they never gave a name.
I did not ask for one.
And who might be pursuing them?
That I would not know. The information I was going to receive would have been very bad for this guards cult, is all I could assume.
Understood. Well, they would recognize me. They would recognize any of us. We don't have the quite the advantage that we do when ducking Jericho in that he wouldn't know what I looked like, but doesn't mean I couldn't look like something else. It doesn't mean that Nana couldn't dress like something else.
I do have this armor here. She kind of like has it shift a little bit so that it illustrates the point that it's a magic piece of armor that will look like what she asks it to.
Thing is, the only reason I'm coming to you, besides it seems that you have some stake in this, is you listed out names. You seemed to have met people in person, and I have not done any of that, so I would have no place to start, is the issue. You are currently the most qualified people I have come across to figure out what happened to my contact.
Well, we might also be the most motivated. Norl, we want to solve these problems. We don't want, and I think I speak for all of us, we don't want to play politics. We don't care what happens between your father and Olave and anyone else. We want to solve the problems that threaten this land. So I'm happy to say that I'd be glad to help. Whether that's by myself or whether Nana accompanies me or Nana and Roshan.
We'll figure something out.
We'll help how we can.
We'll look at the field, we'll look at our available tactics, and we will do what we can to find your contact and get them safe, if possible. Bare minimum, the information, but we do hope to preserve their life as well.
I think it is dangerous to reach out to your contacts, but I would not ask if I had any other direction to go. If you do not think it is feasible, I understand. If you mention that this is a contact for what is basically a Jarlsman, I don't see that going incredibly well. I just need a direction or to know if I am following the trail of a ghost. I just don't know where I am in that. But if you are willing to help me, I would be willing to help you. I think I have a way that could at least slow Jericho down for a time.
That would be appreciated. He's certainly sharper than me. Doesn't take much, I'll grant, but I don't think it would take much for him to make at least enough of us for it to be a problem for all of us. So any help in that regard would be great.
What are Jericho's motivations? Is he blindly beholden to your father?
I don't know him incredibly well. I'm not home often, but he loves the work. This is somebody who is proud of what they do, and that is apparent.
And does he do it because he thinks it's the right thing to do, or because he does it for the coin?
If I had to guess, and this is just a guess, coin is always nice. Right or wrong may not apply when you are contracted to do a certain thing. It is down to doing good work. And I think that is his motivator.
And I mean, we've discussed this with you, and I wouldn't still be talking about it with you if I didn't think you understood. Your continent, our continent, the East and the West are both facing an existential threat. And the skills of someone like Jericho might be useful to help avert that threat. And is he someone that can be reasoned with?
I only can give my assumptions from a man I have talked to on a handful of occasions, but he gets what he wants. For this to end, it is a handful of outcomes that, in his mind, complete the work. That is how I believe he operates. I don't know him incredibly well. I only have a vague idea of how to at least stop him from showing up with multiple men and, kicking off in the door and dragging you off to jail.
That would be appreciated.
You informed me that you received a way to communicate with him.
Yes, it was a letter of some sort that would find him if sent back to him once it was filled in.
No, I am not often the type for espionage of this sort. So this could be a bad idea. Do not hold this up there on the pedestal as, wow, Norrell's great at this. We should follow her advice. That's not what I'm saying.
Understood. Also saying.
I think you should contact him and feign cooperation. I think that is the only way to get him to at least halt for a moment if he thinks that you are going to cooperate.
What would be a sufficient offer? Would he want to meet one of us, or would it need to be a declaration that we would all be present? Would it only be...
I feel terrible stating this again. I don't know him that well, and this is not my area of expertise.
Of course. I'm sorry.
I have never been pursued by I wouldn't call him a bounty hunter. He is a captain of the guard of sorts, but he is not a Jarlsman. It's strange. But we have, not me personally, but he has worked with the Jarlsmen before. He can bring people in, usually people that have wronged Silas, attempted to break in. I know there have been multiple break-ins. He is quick to secure and, as it were, take into procure justice, I suppose.
All right. Okay. If nothing else, that's more to go on than we had before. And if nothing else, it's another tactic that we can consider. Thank you.
And you, Norrell, you're leaving?
I am going to wait at least another 430 seconds for these guards to make their rotation. And then I was planning on heading out, but if there's something someone needed.
No, I meant, are you leaving town? Are you? You seem to be dressed for the assignment. Your assignment.
I just wanted to wear something that felt more correct than my.
How do we
There's
reach you?
clothes.
How do we reach you when we have word of your compatriot?
She motions to Roshan. He communicated to me in my head.
All right.
Easy enough.
Right. You don't mind if I just stand by this window and count silently for a moment, do you?
Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Thank you again.
She smiles and then kind of like stretches a bit, and she just sits there casually, just counting. It's like 300 seconds of her sitting there.
Roshan kind of stares at her and rubs his neck where she held a knife to it, but 2 nights before.
Just 2 nights ago. She glances over, and it's like, I wouldn't say it's a sheepish smile. It's verging on an apology to an extent, or at least acknowledgement, kind of like in like a followed with just like a little wink as she like goes back and looks out the window, being in a room with people who watched her just sprint about the place in her underpants. We'll talk again. And just like a moment of silence, and then the window is open and she is near instantly out of view for Roshan and Fen. Nana, you're able to clock her for a little bit longer, but eventually she is just fully out of sight as she makes her way. And you can see in the distance from where she was counting, it looked like there were 2 guards on patrol that have just passed the building.
She's good.
She's quite good.
Absolutely incredible. But I hope that we can offer her the help she wants.
And with that, a room full of people that totally don't want to kiss Norrell. That is where we're going to stop for tonight. Everybody, hey, what you talking about?
Oh, no.
She's a good friend and she does good work.
Yeah. That's
Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. We love to tell you guys a story here at the Dice Cult. We got a bunch of stories going on Tuesdays. We have Legends of Theia run by Frank, bi-weekly, Dungeons and Dragons 5e, the good old-fashioned kind of stuff, going around, fighting monsters, killing God, kicking ass, taking names, drinking way too much, in and out of game, the energy. So if you're interested, bring a drink and a snack and enjoy some fun on Tuesdays. And on Wednesdays, we have Cordially Invited over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Dice Cult, which is where you can also watch the whole backlog of everything we've done. If you're just like, how did we meet Norrell? Go back a couple episodes, figure out she had no clothes on, near nothing. But that's what happens when people just break into your home and try to steal your dad's priceless artifacts.
While you're sleeping.
While you're just trying to sleep like a normal person. But Cordially Invited is another Dungeons and Dragons 5e game about preparing a royal wedding. Which,
and it all goes according to plan. Nothing goes
there's no violence, no espionage, no mistrust or cattiness. It is all going well and good, and everything is just leading towards a beautiful wedding. And if you would like to catch that wedding, you can join them on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Saturdays, they have Vampire the Masquerade and The Last Remaining Light, the game that I'm terrible at describing because talking about it makes me sweaty and nervous.
There's a lot going on.
Gosh, we are literally approaching the end, folks. This is it, boys.
Elysium's around the corner, boys.
The Elysium's tonight, boys. The party is fully split. Each member of the coterie off on their own missions. Mary, who has made her way fully out of town unscathed.
Amazing.
But will she come
And that's
back
the goal,
if she
right?
knows? The goal is to escape unscathed, but so I just can imagine her getting reeled back in, because that's the energy this party brings, is how much danger could I be in one night. So hopefully Mary stays away, but she might not. And Iris is currently running away from the Justicar, which are sword-wielding vampire cops, basically, with Tyr's foster father in tow, who is going to attend Elysium to try and save her. And it's beautiful. And also, I'm so scared. I'm real nervous about it. Still very sweaty. And Tyr has just met a new friend at the bottom of the lake, an old member of the Sabbat who believes that this is his domain. And when she's like, yeah, no, totally, everybody up there should be dead, gifted her a beautiful, nasty leg, some nasty new friends to follow her up onto land, and a beautiful mission to make sure nobody leaves Elysium. So if you're interested in how all of that wraps up into a beautiful bow where I'm sure we all won't cry, you're welcome to join us on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Vampire the Masquerade and The Last Remaining Light. If you'd like to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. And thank you guys again. We really appreciate it. Love getting to tell you guys a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you next week. Good night.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.
Love y'all.